If sitting is the new smoking, then walking is the new nicotine patch. Okay, that needs work. Welcome. I'm John of John Health and Fitness. No miracles in real life. Part of real life is trying to develop healthy daily habits that in small ways that add up can contribute to your overall health and fitness level. Everything you do for fitness or health does not have to be a moonshot. You can do these little things every day and integrate them into your life that can add up to a real difference. In this video, we're going to be talking about walking. Now, I'm not talking about power walking or long strolls. I'm talking about adding steps to your day. Little things you can do that will get you up and moving more than you are right now. So let's go over 3 things you can do to add steps and more walking into your daily life. Number 1, walk instead of drive. Walk instead of having someone else drive. Walk instead of having an Uber driver take you. For that matter, a bus or a subway. Basically, are the ways that you can get around where you could walk instead. Now, I know there's an element of that that sounds obvious. You've probably heard it before. But there's a difference between hearing something and making it part of your daily habit. Thinking about it enough that you start making real changes. Every time you grab that key fob, every time you go to run a little errand, maybe even just dropping your kid off at a neighbor's, do you stop to think, could we walk instead? I think about this a lot, and I mess up all the time. I'm often sitting in my car driving my kids somewhere and realizing, an extra 10 minutes we could have just walked. One habit I have developed is walking my kid to the school bus stop in the morning. It's about 2.5 blocks away, just under a quarter mile. So round trip, just under half a mile. It's about 800 to 900 steps. 800 to 900 steps I wouldn't be getting otherwise. Now, there are parents who drive their kids that distance and less to the bus stop. Not a matter of being lazy, it's a matter of time. Jump in the car, get them there, drop them off, and go straight to work. And that's where there's a second part to this one. Not just am I thinking about can I drive right now, but ahead of time, is there a way I could change my schedule a little bit in the morning that would allow for that extra 5 or 10 minutes to walk instead of drive? Which brings us to number 2. Sometimes there's just no choice. It's a matter of time, scheduling, distance. You're going to have to drive. In that case, where do you park? You can add extra steps to your day just by parking away from the entrance. Doesn't have to be a huge distance. Anything more than right in front can help. You've seen the people circling the parking lot for 5-10 minutes looking for that perfect spot. So by doing this, you can actually save time instead of actually using time walking if you just park a little bit of ways and walk. Now again, this sounds relatively obvious, right? You've heard it before. Park somewhere, wait in the parking lot. But do you make it a habit? Is the first thing you think of when you drive somewhere, pull into a large parking lot, is to scout those far reaches in the corner, where no one is usually, and park there instead. This is where I park when I drive to Skyline One Life Fitness for my Tuesday and Thursday aqua classes. I'll throw a link down below if you're interested. Now you'll see there are a lot of spaces between me and the entrance. It's a good 75 to 100 steps, so as many as 200 steps round trip. Not huge, but I do that every single time I park there. And I do that in every single lot. Yeah, even here, especially here. Even on vacation. I was going to a local sports club in the Outer Banks when I was down there this summer. As you can see, I parked pretty far away from the entrance. Lots of spaces between me and where I had to go. Little things like that do add up. Which will take us to number 3. And that is, are there things you're doing sitting that you could be walking instead? I think one of the best examples is being on the phone. I'm not really crazy about being on the phone. But nobody knows what you're doing when you're on the phone. You can walk around then. Conference calls are particularly good for that. Developed for me as a nervous habit, but at this point I can't stand sitting around a conference call. It seems like a complete waste of time. You can just walk. Some people call it pacing. I call it exercise. How much can you walk? Well, you have a lawyer on the phone, you can get easily a half mile to a mile in. You've got more than one lawyer on the phone, you're looking at a 5K. Now there can be a danger to that, like say walking along city streets while texting. Yeah, no. But surely there are other things you can think of where you could actually be walking, maybe even just standing, but pacing around, walking while you're doing things, listening to music. Heck, you could get up and dance. And so 3 possibly obvious tips, but it's not about being obvious, it's about making it a habit. So just to quickly recap, 1. Could you walk instead of drive or take some other form of transportation? And if you don't have the time right at that moment, is it possible to plan ahead differently the next day or the next week so you could walk instead of drive? 2. If you do have to drive or take some form of transportation, put some distance between you and your ultimate destination. Park in the far reaches of the parking lot. Get off a stop or two earlier, whether you're on the bus or the subway. Tell your Uber driver to drop you off early because you're tired of hearing about his kids. And 3. Turn a sedentary activity into a walking activity. My favorite again, being on the phone, being on conference calls, you can pace and just walk around. But think about things you could do safely walking around instead of sitting. Making these things habits are the key. Hearing them, thinking, yeah, that makes sense is one thing, but actually making part of your daily routine can make a real difference. Once again, everything you do does not have to be a moonshot in fitness. You do not have to work out vigorously for an hour a day, otherwise it's not worth it. One of the knocks against exercise, particularly as it relates to weight loss, is that most of the calories you expend in a day have nothing to do with your exercise. It has to do with your daily routine. Your resting metabolism is more than half your calories, typically, depending on how active you are, but also just walking around, gardening, cooking, all the other things you do in the day. If you can add more activity to those activities, to things you're doing between exercising, it can make a real difference over time. And with patience, you'll see the results. Thanks for watching. I am John of John Health and Fitness. Check out my website, johnhealthandfitness.com. Before you leave, add a comment below about the things you do to add some steps to your day, some other tips and tricks. I'd love to hear those. And also, don't forget to subscribe, hit the alert bell as well so you don't miss a thing in the future. And right now, I'm going to stop standing around and I'm going to get walking. Take care. See you next time. Additional time in there. And that's the dog. Because now he's itchy. He's itchy now. He's not itchy anymore. He's done. Alright. This is where I park in the underground parking garage at the what? He's itchy again. I thought he was done being itchy. He's done. Now he's done. Wow, he needs a bath. He needs a bath. If sitting is the new walking, wow, sitting is the new walking. Okay.